Welcome everyone to Serenity Education channel. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you have not done so. We are going to start right now. Today we are going to focus on the Senior Certificate June 2025 Rewrite paper. And then if we are able to finish tomorrow, we will be focusing on the main paper, which was June 2025. There were two papers that were written. Right. So without wasting much time, I'm going to start with question 1. Now, it says open the one Korea word processing document that contains information about how Korea companies operate. Insert your examination number in the header of the document. So I'm going to open it. I've shared this document with everyone. Now, when you open the June 2025, from the drive, if you open it, it says June SC 2025. And now when you open, you will see paper 1 and paper 2. Then from paper 1, you will find the actual June 2025 paper, which is this one. And then the rewrite is also this one. So today we are going to focus on the rewrite. Good. Now, the first one says we must change the image on the cover page to the one first image found in the examination folder. So I am going to open it. So we say we might change this image. So you right click and then you choose change picture from this device. And then you now go and select the picture, which is one first, so that the picture will be replaced. Right. The second question, modify the heading 2 style as follows. Format the text to display in small caps and italics. So here we have heading 2 5. Sorry, we have heading 2 style. And then the question says we must modify it. So you right click and choose modify. And then according to the question, the text to display in small caps. So we go to format, font, and then we choose small caps. Then again, and it should be in italics. So through the font, we will see italic. And then change the font color to the same color as the heading 1. Now, this is where the problem comes. Now, the font color, we have to check. So we can just click OK. Now, you have to check the font color of heading 1. So you see, when you modify the heading 1, you will see the font color, which was green accent 6. So now we know that the heading 1 was green accent 6. So we need to change this one also to the same color. Then we can also take update automatically. Right. So basically, this is how we were supposed to do. Now, let me check if there is no question. Please don't forget to come out with your questions. If you have any question, you drop them. Right. The next question, it says, we must find the image next to the paragraph below the heading that starts with the process of, and do the following. Edit the image to remove all the text at the bottom of the image. So there was some text at the bottom of that image. So we select the image. And then, like I always say, whenever you are dealing with images, when you click on it, it's going to give you picture format, or sometimes you see format based on the Microsoft Office version that you are using. And then we go to crop. So now we have to crop and remove this text. Then we click outside. So we don't want to see the text on this particular image. Right, then the next one says edit the link so that it moves to the note bookmark. So there's a bookmark called note in the OneForm file. So and now I can see that this is a new form of questions. Right. This is not a bookmark on the same document. This is a bookmark from different documents. Now they created a link to this picture. So you can see that when we hover over the picture, it's going to see, or it's going to show you current document, click Control plus click to follow the link. That means that a hyperlink was applied to this one. So we right click and then we choose edit link because a hyperlink has already been applied. So you right click and choose edit link. Now, when you edit link, we have placed in this document. Now you will see learners will be scrolling down to look for the bookmark. There is no bookmark here. Then you have to go to existing file or web page. Why do we have to go there? Because we are picking the bookmark from another file called OneForm. So we choose existing file or web page. Then we select OneForm. Now, when you click on OneForm, it's not going to give you the bookmark here. So when you select it, then you click on bookmark. Then you can now find a bookmark from OneForm, which is the note, this one, and then you click OK. And OK, so meaning that there's a link to another document which has also another bookmark. So that's how you were supposed to do to be able to solve this particular question. Then 1.4, which says insert a page number in the document to display as you can see below. So here there is a page number that is given to us. And then we are going to look at the screenshot to be able to solve that type of question. So we double click. And then we now insert our page number from the footer. Now, according to the question, the numbering should start on page 2 as A. So meaning page 1, which contains the cover page, should not be numbered. So meaning we go to page 2, then we must ensure that different first page is ticked. So as you can see, different first page is selected. Then we go to page numbers, bottom, and then we choose, let's check where the page number is. It's on the left-hand side. Bottom, then we choose the 1 on the left-hand side. But it says 2. So we need to go back to page numbers, and then we say format page number. Then we are changing it to ABC. And then we will start at also A. So meaning here we'll start at A. The first one will not have any page number. So that is how you needed to do to be able to change the page number. Right. We move on to the next question. Find the word dispatches and then insert EndNote as follows. The EndNote should use Roman numerals and then the text should be mailing. So we have to go and look for the EndNote. EndNote is always at the last document. So the EndNote was not inserted. The question says we must find the word dispatches and then we insert the EndNote. So now you scroll down to go and look for the word dispatches. I think it's here. So you click just after the word and then you go to EndNote. So you can use the search and say EndNote. Or you can go to references, then you see end note. So here we see footnote and end note. Then it's going to give you footnote, end note options. Then we select end note. Now we have two forms of end note, end of the document or end of section. So here we choose end of the document. Then the question says should be Roman numerals, like we see here, which is already selected for us. Then we click on insert. Now, the moment we click on insert, we need to type the text, which is mailing. So we type the text called mailing. Right, so that is end note. Then the 1.6, use a word processing feature to replace the word decline with an antonym. So this word processing the synonym and then antonym. So we have to look for the word decline. You select the word, you right click, then we see synonym. Now when you go to synonym, it gives you the words of the same meaning. Now, it doesn't give you the antonym, which is the opposite in meaning. So it only gives us the synonym. Some other versions, you will see the antonym here. So if you don't see, you must go to Thesaurus so that you'll be able to look for the other antonym. So now when you go there, you will see these are all synonyms. There's an antonym here, growth or improvement. They even have verb and others. So here's antonym, so you must choose. So here should be decline, which is improve. So antonym can be improve. Then you click on it to replace it. So when you choose improve, then you can now accept it. We can now accept that improve or waste. So either improve or waste. So now let's choose the growth or improve. Right. So basically, that is how it's supposed to be. Then you can now replace it. So to do that, you have to go to antonym, thesaurus. That is where you can find the other meanings. Right. So here I chose refuse. We can go back and choose it. Which can be accept. There are so many of them. So you have to choose them and then you'll be able to accept it or you reject it. Right. So that is it. Now, the next question. So here, improve, you can replace it. If you don't have it to select automatically, you can just replace it and say improve. But basically, all that you need to do, you right click, you see synonyms. If it's not there, go to thesaurus, then you can find different meanings there that you can be able to accept. So if we pick, let me go back. The original one was decline. So when we right click, synonym, thesaurus, now we need to choose one of the antonyms. Improve, you click on that arrow to insert it, or you can copy and paste so that it will be able to replace it. Right. The next question. 1.7, you have been given a screenshot like this, which is table of content. This is table of content or table of figures. The question is we must insert table of figures. So we go there, we go to references, insert table of figures. Now let's check the format. They did not give us the format, but there are no lines. There are no lines on the right, so you can see them here. Not from template, let's choose classic. Now the classic has the text with a figure and then also distinctive with no line. Then the other ones also, we don't need to include a label. We don't need the label. We need only the text. We don't need the label. So we remove the label also. Now I want to see, it could be formal or right align with no leader. The leader should be none. I think this could be the right one. Let's click on OK. So we see them with no leader lines, and then the text will be here. The page numbers will be on the right-hand side with no lines. Right. Let's move on to the next one, which is the 1.8. It says we must open one form. So we need to close this one. And then we open one form. Right. Now, it says we must change this form as follows. Find the heading sender details. Apply a text stop to the form field below the heading to display as shown in the example. Now, we need to apply the text stop. Look at the text stop over here. The text stop is on position 8 with L. Now, whenever you see L like this, it is left text stop. So this is left. If you see like T, this is center. If you see L, that is 10 to that side. This one is right align. And then if you see just a straight line like this is a bar text stop. This is a bar, like a straight line. So from this question, you can see that, let me increase it. From this question, you realize that it's L on position 8. So this is a left text stop. So all these forms here are placed on the left text stop at 8 centimeters. So let's go and look at it. So we need to select them. And then we go to 8 centimeters, just below 8, double click. It's going to create a text stop. Make use of the ruler setting. If you click inside the ruler, it's going to give you the page setup, which is the margins. But when you click below 8, it's going to give you the text stop. So 8 centimeters, which is left. And then you click on set. Now let's check whether there are lines. There are no lines. So we don't need to take any lines. So leader, we say none. And then we click on set. Then okay. Then they will be at 8 centimeters. Right, the next question, format it as follows. Edit the text form field to the text province so that WC is included in the list of the options. So this is province, you double click on it. Now we type WC, which is Western Cape, then you press enter. Or you can click on add. Sometimes they can even tell you to move this one to the top, the first position. So you use this, move up and then move down to change their position. Then okay. And then the next one, edit the text form field to the text code to accept 4-digit numbers. Now the code should be, that means the length should be 4. So you double click on the code. So the maximum length should be 4. That's to accept 4-digit numbers. And then the next question, remove the help text from the collection instruction text form field. So this collection text, you double click, you go to add help text, then you remove, you delete this one. or you can just click on none. You delete it so that there will not be any help text. Then 1.9.3 or 4. The price that a sender will pay to send a parcel is calculated by adding a once-off amount of 145 and then 2.50 cents per kilometer traveled. So here we are adding this and that one to 8. Modify the text form field to the text price as follows. Automatically calculate the price a sender would pay for delivery and then display your answer in currency. So when you get a question like this, you highlight, you underline them step by step, and then you'll be able to solve such questions. So we go to that one, the price. Now they said the price, we are adding the kilometers to it by adding a once-off amount of 145 and 2.50 cents per kilometer. So meaning if kilometer is there, like maybe 1 kilometer, we need to add this 145 and then 2 rand will be multiplied by the kilometer. So it's going to be 145 plus 2.50 times the kilometer value, which is the kilometer value. So this is how it's supposed to be. Now let's go and do that calculation. Because we are going to use the kilometer, meaning that we have to check the bookmark name for the kilometer. So you double click and look for the bookmark name. It says KM. So we come back here, we double click on the price. Now KM is already there and the calculation is selected for us. Sometimes you won't find the calculation, you need to select calculation. The KM is there, which is wrong. Let's go and check whether it was KM. All right, it's KM, so we don't have a problem with that. So KM times 2.5 plus 145. Then we change the format to currency. So the format here, you have to look for the rand, or you can put R as the format. You can put R here, or you can just choose the currency here, and then OK. So now here it gives us RT, is that one. So let's go and check. This is KM. So here, this KM, let's put it properly, is KM times that. So if I type a value here for KM, let's say 30 kilometers. So it's going to be that 30. This 2.5. There we go. Here, my computer use comma, so you will check. Maybe yours use dot. You have to check the format. So it's KM times that 2.5 plus 145. And then the number format is R, or you can pick it from here. They will give you the same value. Right. So that is all for question 1 for 26 marks. Let's go and check from the comment section if there's any comment. There are no comments, so I will proceed to question 2. Open the 2 shipping word processing document that contains information about the courier and then postal services. Now, let's open that document. To shipping. Right, edit a date in the format MMM-2Y, right align in the header, make sure that the date automatically updates. So there's a date that the question wants us to edit in the header. So let's go there. There is no date here. Let's check. Did they say edit or add? Okay, the question says insert a date. So meaning we go to the header and we insert a date. You will find date and time. And then according to the question, the date should be on the right-hand side. And then the format was given to us, which is M-2Y. And it should automatically update. Now, when you use this part and you don't see the format here, it becomes difficult to solve this type of question. So what you need to do is you have to use a field. On the header, you go to quick path, or you can use document info, then you find field. Now you go and look for date. The moment you click on date, it's going to give you the format. But if you choose date and time automatically, you will not get access to this date format. So here, when we choose date, we will see the date format. Then we type the format M-2Y. And then automatically update, which is today. And then you click OK. Then the question says should be on the right-hand side. So meaning you must right align. You go to alignment, then you choose right. So this is how you must solve this question. Right. The next question, 2.2, find a text that starts with the heading career and then ends with and the postal services. Then you edit the text to display as shown in the example below. Word art, this is word art with the career, and then you can see that it seems it's shaded. Remember, it's 3 marks. So you should not do more than the marks that are located. And then you can also see that there's a border around this text, and then the border is dashes that's around the text. So you have to apply that border. So here is it. This one is given to us, but it's not word art. So meaning we have to convert this one to word art. You only select it. You only select it, and then you turn it to be word art. You can go to search and type word art. So the arrow was missing. You can delete that one, then we type R. Right. So it's on the right-hand side. Then we can move it. And then this text, there's a text box already around this one. So we have to change the text box to dashes. So when you click on the text box, you will see shape format, and then you'll find shape outline. And that is where you will see the dashes. Then you choose the dashes. It should be this one, square dot. Then you go back to the shape outline with the weight, let's say 3 pt. That's where you see the dashes with the weight. Right. Now, I don't know whether this one is included, this border also, because it looks like we have done 3 things for the 3 marks. One for the word art, and then one for inserting the border, and then the border should be dashes available. The border was there, but we choose the dashes, which is the square one around this. Now let's check if this one is there. If you doubt and there's no note, you can also try that part. So we can insert a shape also, and then we take it to be behind text. Then we can change this one, the weight, to be 3pt so that we can see it exactly as we see from the screenshot. If you doubt it, that you must do it. You never know, maybe that one mark is also from there. Right. The next question, find the heading Courier Services versus Postal Services and change the numbering from ABC of the heading to 01, 02, 03. So here is the numbering system, which is ABC, and the question wants us to change it to 01, 02. So you select it, you go to the numbering system, and then you choose define new bullet format or number format. Then the number style, you select the 0102. Here is it. Right. Let's check whether there's no is 01 dot. So meaning with this, we must put dot there. Dot is already there. And then okay. So basically we just change it from ABC to 01, the numerical values. Right. The next question, which is 2.4. Make sure that the heading local services and then the paragraph and the table below heading will always remain together on the same page. I like this one. The question says they must be together. They must be together and then also on the same page for one mark. So there's one tick over there. So we have to go and choose that heading. Here is the heading and then the paragraph together with the table. So the heading, you select together with the paragraph and the table. All these must be together on the same page. So to do that, the Microsoft Word feature is from the paragraph settings. So you go to paragraph settings, you can search it and say paragraph. Alternatively, you can find it from the home tab, then you see paragraph group. Now, we will find this one under the line and page break. Keep with next. Keep lines together and a page break before. Now, these three, keep lines together. That means they must always be together. That's what the question says. Will always remain together. So keep lines together. Now, keep with next also, they must also be together. So sometimes, if you're not to choose both, whether keep lines together or keep with next. Now, page break before, that means you want to push this one to the next page. So if you take page break before, they will be on the next page. It's going to create page break that side. But that's not what the question wanted. So we don't need to take page break before. It should be keep lines together and then keep next. They should be together. Right. The next question. So you can see they are together on the same page. Keep with next and keep lines together. The next question, find the smart art below and then we change this. Now this is the smart art. They say the color of the smart art is dark one outline. And then the style is 3D metallic scene. So let's go and check the smart art. Read the question again. The smart art below the heading delivery promise. So we have to go and look for that heading. The smart art is already there. Now we need to change it to look exactly what you see here. And then the color also. So we go to the smart art design and smart art style. According to the question, it should be 3D metallic. So we pick 3D and then we choose the metallic one, not polish, not inset, not cartoon. So we are looking for 3D metallic. Here is it. This is the one. Again, from the note, the color should be dark one outline. So the color should be dark one outline. Remember, each one has a name. This one is dark one outline. We have the colorful and others. So we choose this one, dark one outline. And then the smart art doesn't look like what we see here. So we need to change. That's why it's format. We need to change the smart art type. Even though they did not give us the type of smart art, but then we have to change it to look like this. So you go to the layout of the smart art. We need to change it to look exactly as you see. We can go to more format, layout. Then I think it should be part of the process. Or if you're not sure, just go to all. The question didn't tell us. Then you start scrolling down. You'll find the right smart art. Here is it. It's a circle arrow process. This is the one. And then you click OK. So this is the type of the smart art that the question wanted. And again, there should be 4: speed, reliability, followed by safety and affordability. Now we have the speed, reliability. We don't have this one, which is the safety. So we have to type inside the safety. You right click and say, this one was there. Here, the text is not there. So we need to add this text. When you right click, you must see add text. If it's not there, that means it's not a proper smart art. Like this one, when you select, it must give you add text. Or you can just say add shape before. Then we can type inside that text. My smart art is disappointing me today. Let me remove this one. Right. I'm gonna delete it. My grammar is just giving me problem. Right. I'm going back and start typing inside. So when you right click, you see edit text, then you can type inside here, which is safety. And then now I can go back and change my smart art. This one is metallic scene, and then the color is this one. Then the layout was also changed. More layout, which is circle. And then okay. Right, so now we have our right smart art. So if it's giving problem, you can start all over, then you type them inside, then you'll be able to change the layout. Now we move straight to the next question, which is change the orientation only the page with the shipping labels to landscape. So only that page should be landscape, which is 2.6. The shipping labels, only this page should be landscape. The rest of the pages should be portrait. Now, this one, to change only one page to be landscape, you need to put section break. So we can click before shipping labels, and then we go to layout, then you will find breaks, then you choose continuous. And then after that one also, you go again, breaks, continuous. So we have separated this page. Then now, I want this one to be landscape, the rest should be portrait. So I can now go to that page. When you are changing one page to only landscape, you don't need to put a link to previous. There's no need. So the moment you are done with this, you just go to that page, layout, orientation, landscape. So this page is landscape. The rest of the pages will be portrait. All that you need to do is to put section break, which is continuous. Then after that, you can put your layout, and then you change the orientation to landscape. Right, the next question. Find the image below the heading shipping label and do the following. Change the size of the image to 12 centimeters and then 18 centimeters. So this is the exact sizes. It shouldn't change. Apply the style rounded diagonal corner white to the image. So we go to that 2.7, the image that they are talking about. Here's the image. To change the size, as soon as you click on image, you will see picture format. Go there, and then you'll find the size. You click on this options, the advanced layout size. Then you change the size here. Make sure that lock aspect ratio, you must uncheck. Why do you have to uncheck it? Remember, the aspect ratio is the relationship between the width and then the height, meaning that if it is thick, whatever you do to the width must also apply to the height. But if you remove it, it's not going to work like that. You can now change it to the exact sizes that the question wants. So meaning 12 centimeters by 18 centimeters. The height should be 12, and then the width should be 18 centimeters. Then okay. So we got the exact size. Then again, the question says, we need to apply the style rounded diagonal corner white to the image. So this image we must apply the style. Remember, we have the picture style. When you click on picture format, don't forget all these, the saturations and others. Then you see picture style. You will find also alt text, the positions and others. Watch out for some of these things. Now, when you go to the style, they say rounded. Each of them have a name. You look for that one. It says rounded diagonal corner white. This is the one. So you must place the mouse pointer on them till you get the right name. This is the one that the question wanted from us. Good. Now we go to the last question for Microsoft Word for this question. 2.8, update the automatic page bibliography below the heading. We have to update the bibliography. You know, bibliography is the list of the cited sources. So to update, when you right click and you choose update field, they say there are no sources in the current document. So meaning these sources are not there, the Lewis and others. So meaning you have to add this as the source. Now, when you go to references and you go to citation, you can see that there are no sources added. So we need to add those sources, new source, then we add the first one. The author is Lewis J. and 2024. So the author, you type Lewis J. Don't forget to put a comma here, otherwise it's going to bring the J first. So you bring the comma just after the J. And then the year was 2024. I don't know whether it's 2024 or 20 years. And the title, this is the title. This is the title, which is Delivery Ethics, and then the purple career. So you type them. Delivery services, so ethics. And then the city was not given to us, the publisher. Now this one could be the publisher. Or if you are not sure of, you can just type, you see here, the career services dot. If you're not sure, you can type them in full. It's going to give you like that. So this should be the publisher. And this is service and delivery. So you can also type all of them. If you're not sure, type them here, dot. Purple. Otherwise, you must put them as a publisher. Now here, they did not specify whether it's a website or not. So either you choose the book or you choose the website, is also fine. Now here, if I right click and say update field, now you see it gives me the Louis J with that one. Now after the Louis J, you see there's dot, so that's the right one. The only problem is the purple couriers, so we have to go and check our source. So we can edit our source, so meaning this one should have been under, you can cut it and put it under the publisher. So if we update, you can see the purple curious is not italic. So what you must take note is that the one that is italic will be the title. This will be the title. And this will be the publisher. So here also the same, it changes. This one, the courier services will be the publisher, and then the services and deliveries will be the title. So you add both Mokoena L 2023, also you must add it. If you don't add them, it's not going to give you the right thing. So you must add both one, then you can be able to insert the bibliography. Right. So here I can type Mokoena L. Then you put a comma. Don't forget to put a comma so that it doesn't give you a problem. Then you type the title there, and then also the publisher. So now when you update, it's going to give us these two. Right, because I did not type the heading. So basically, you have to type, this question wanted us to add the source before we update, not just updating. You have to add the references or the sources before you can update. Right, we are done with Microsoft Word. Before I proceed to spreadsheet, let me check if there are no questions from the comment section. It seems there's somebody said how to add instructions to the signer on the signature line. Okay, I will address that one. After adding the circle arrow process smart add, click on the text panel to add the text safety. Yes, you can also click on that text panel to add it. But if you don't have it, also you can just right click and choose edit text. Yes, thank you so much for that 2.5. How to add the instructions to the signer on the signature line. Is there a question like that? Or you are asking another question? So signature line, I told you when you put a signature line, normally they ask you to add a comment. So add signature line. Then you are going to find allow the signer to add a comment in the sign dialog. Then there's also an option here. Then the instructions. You can type the instructions here. Instructions to the signer. So like you said, you can put the instructions here. You can also put the signer's email address and then the name of the signer. So this one, the question will ask you. So here you can put them, verify the content, or they can ask you a specific instruction that you need to type them here. Please sign properly. Yeah, you can also do that. Then you click OK. Then it gives you the signature line. Right. So when you double click, then you'll be able to do that. And then you put your signature there. Then this is the instruction that's given to us. Please sign properly. It will give you. So you can add the image if you have your already stored signature, which is an image. You can insert it, then you put them here. Right. So that's how we add a signer's signature to our Word document. Don't forget, if there are any questions, you can just put them there and then I'll address it. Then we proceed to question 3, which is 3 orders. We are done with Microsoft Word. So we are moving straight to spreadsheet, which is question 3. Remember this question, you're supposed to solve them in 3 hours. So I'll try and see, even though I'm trying to explain and takes time, we'll see whether I will be able to solve it within 3 hours or maybe within 2 hours. We still have more time. The first question says format A1 to H1 as follows. Apply a gradient fill that starts with an orange color on the left side and then changes to a green color towards the right side. Now, A1 to H1, this A1 up until H1. To fill, you can just right click and choose format cell, or you can just go to the search and type shading or borders, then you see fill. Now, you see the gradient fill. Gradient fill, we get it from fill effect. So the question says gradient fill, orange color, and then green color. That means 2 colors. The first one is orange, and then the second one is green color. Now, according to the question, it says orange on the left, and then it changes to the green color on the right hand side. So you see here we have the horizontal, vertical from left to right. So you can choose the vertical one, this one, orange on the left to that one. I think this is the right one, the vertical. It is not diagonal up and it's not diagonal down. So it's the vertical one that you must choose. And it's not horizontal. Horizontal will be up and down. So it should be vertical, that's from left. With this one, and then you click OK. So this should be the right one that you must choose. Then the next question, insert a function to determine which date the most orders were placed. So which date has more orders? Now, if you look at this one, the dates are in column D. Now they want to find out which date here got more orders. This is the date of order. So we use mode, that is most. We use mode, and then you select all the dates in column D. Then you click or you press enter. So meaning on the 2nd of December 2024, got more orders. So that's what we call the mode. Then the next question, sum ifs. Sum ifs, that to find the total based on more than one criteria. Like I said, you can even have sum ifs for one criterion and it will work. Now, I say the total value of all the parcels ordered before 2024, and then the shipping delivery method. Now, the first criteria is it should be less than 2024. And then when you say July 2024, less than, that means less than 1st of July 07 2024. But check, you must always check the date format. As you can see here, the date format is year before the month and then ending with the day. So you have to type it as exactly that you see there. So we go here and say sum ifs. Equal sign, sum ifs. Remember, sum ifs will always be there. Sum ifs, the sum range. The question says the total value. So the sum range will be our column E. So you select the total values, all the values, and then the criteria range 1. Where do we pick our date from? Which is column D. So you select the date. And then the criteria, the question says before July 2024. So you say less than 2024 slash, because the date format starts with the year before the month, slash 07 slash 01. That's the 1st of July 2024. And criteria range 2, where we can find delivery shipping method, which is column G. So we select the values in column G. And then the criteria will be delivery. Now, you don't have to type them in full. Sometimes you might make a mistake. You say star DEL star. That means it contains DEL. And then you click OK. So we got this amount. Or you can also type them in full if you like. So this should have been the right function. Right. Let's move straight to the next question. A customer will pay 0 shipping cost if the value of the parcel is greater than 1,500. Otherwise, the customer is charged 10%. Insert a formula in F8 to determine the shipping cost for SWOT. Now, someone will say, the question says we should use a formula. Remember, learners, a function is also a formula. So if you are defining a function, it says a function is a predefined or predetermined, a formula that's already there in spreadsheet. So don't be confused. This question, they can use that one to confuse you. They say formula, then you're going to use your own formula. You confuse yourself. You waste all the time. Remember, you can use a function also. And the right function for this one is if statement. If statement. Now, they are saying that if the value there, the parcel value there is 1,500 and above, that's greater than, then the person will not get any shipping cost. Otherwise, that means if the person is getting less than that amount, then they are going to charge them 10% of the shipping cost value. So here I'm going to use building block to solve them step by step. Now let's check where the question is supposed to be in F8. So here is F8, meaning on your building block, it should be on row 8. If you go and use it in another place, you'll be penalized. So please take note of that. I've always been stressing out this one. Do not make such mistakes and get penalized with 1 mark, 2 marks. So now, first of all, we need to put our 0 rate, which is equal sign 0 times the value. Enter. It gives us 0 rand. That is if the person gets more than 1,005, it will get this one. Then you go again. The next column, 10%, equal sign, 10% times the value here, and then press enter. So this will be the 10% value. You can autofill. After getting the answers for each criteria, this is when the value is less than 1,005, and here when the value is more than 1,005. So we're going to put our if statement here. Equal sign if, or you can even use ifs. Equal sign if. Click on Fx. Now you test the logical, which says when the value of the parcel, which is E8, is greater than 1,500, then the value if true. If it is greater than 1,500, the question says 0 shipping. So that one, we click on the first answer here, which is J8. Otherwise, you click on the second answer in the next column and then enter. So we got the answer, right? When I drag down here, 101, because there's no shipping. Now, when you scroll down here, this is 0. So you can see we get the same values. Right. We could have solved this question straightforward by saying equal sign if. I mean, those of you who want to just go straight without using the building block. If the value, which is E8, is greater than 1,500, then Like the question says, if it's 1,500, we charge 10%. There's a 10. Let's check here. If it's greater, then it's 0. So if it's greater, we put 0. Otherwise, we put 10% times the value in E8, and then OK. So you get the same answer. If you want to do it straightforward, if E8 is greater than 1,005, then 0. Otherwise, 10% times E8. Or you can solve them in the building block to break them down into a simpler way. Right. The next question. Shine has a promotion on the total cost as the value of the parcel and then the shipping cost of an order. Use the data in the promo worksheet and insert a formula in H11 to display the promotion benefit that NRAPO T received. Right. Now, I want to break this question down. You realize that the question didn't tell you what kind of formula do you have to use here. But then whenever you get your question paper, just identify this. Whenever you are using the formula to get something from another worksheet, then it is lookup function. So you can see here, they didn't say use VLOOKUP or use a lookup or use anything, but they say use the data in the promo worksheet and insert a formula. That means they wanted to use lookup, but let's try and then study it first. But I think that's what the question wanted us to do. Now, our formula should be in H. Now, when you go to promo worksheet, there we go. So there's a table in another worksheet. The moment you see a question that says use another table in another worksheet, then it's a lookup function. So that should guide you for that. And I like this question, the way they trick learners. Right. So here we can use VLOOKUP or we can use XLOOKUP. Now I'm going to start with XLOOKUP and then I'll also use VLOOKUP. Now, XLOOKUP, remember, can be used as an alternative to either V or HLOOKUP. So here, first of all, XLOOKUP, you give them different names. You select column A. Do not include the heading. You right click, define name. You can give it a name as A. You select the values in B. You right click, define name, give it a name as B. Why do I use define name? You can also use the $ to make it absolute, or the define name will also make it absolute. Then you come here, equal sign, X lookup. Then you click on FX. The lookup range or array is A, the return one is B. Then your lookup value is always on the left-hand side, which can be found from the lookup values here. The lookup array, you see the number 0, 900. So you cannot click on this delivery because there are no delivery or any shipping method here. So the right one should have been the shipping cost. This one, shipping cost. And then the match mode is the -1. Then OK. Now when you drag down and it gives you the right one, here it's giving me maybe next. So meaning there's a wrong answer there. Then we can now leave it from -1. Maybe that's from 0, 900, because of the values. Okay, here they use the cost. They did not use the shipping method. So let's go and check. They use the cost. Yeah, that's the shipping cost. The same value. So that's F11. And then AB. Then you say -1. Because of the range. Here they gave a range. Right, let's use VLOOKUP also and see. Remember, either use -1 for XLOOKUP, or you can also use 1. So when you use -1 is giving wrong answer, you use 1. Now let's drag down and see. Yes. So this one, right? What should have? Yeah, so maybe next time 79 should have been. Let's check again. Let's drag it down. It could have been that we have. So the approximate one should have been the -1. The best one should have been -1. Right. Now let's use the VLOOKUP. When you're using VLOOKUP, what you need to do is you select your table. Right click, give it a name. So here I can give it a name, let's say D. Don't use C because C is always reserved. And then you go to equal sign, VLOOKUP. Why VLOOKUP? Because the table is vertical. Then the table array, we gave it a name as D. And then the lookup value is this one. Then the column index, the column we are taking the value from is from column 2. And then the range lookup, when you say false, which is the exact match, it gives us the NA. So the range lookup should be true, which is approximate match. Approximate match meaning the values are not the same. I think it's this value that I'm giving, but then that's the right answer. So here it's approximate match because you don't get 0 that side. You have the value that is 128,60. Right. So that's why you were supposed to do either V or X lookup. Now let's check if there are no questions. If there are no questions, I will proceed. Now, we go to 3.8. Work in the chart worksheet. Modify the chart as follows. Change the measure unit for the y-axis to 5,000. The primary measure vertical grid lines should be there. Legend at the bottom of the chart. And then the marker type of the lowest point to a triangle. Right. So here we move straight to the chart. There were markers given to us. Now, when you right click and then you go to add data labels or select data, we want to deal with the markers. So here the data is correctly selected. Then you can also go to the chart type, which is combo. Here they use combo. We are trying to test it and see. Now, again, you format data series. Then we're going to change the first part, which is the measure y-axis. So here is the y-axis. You click on it. It gives you the unit here. You start with the first one here. It gives you the axis options with a measure unit and then the minor unit. Now the measure unit should be 5,000. You change this one to 5,000. And then the next question says, display the primary grid lines. So we are done with the measure unit. This is the grid lines. Now when you go to the plot area, the grid lines must be displayed. Now, when you go there to the plot area, then you double click on the grid lines, then you will see the major grid lines are there. Now, according to the question, it says primary measure grid lines. Yes, primary one. So you go to the primary and then you select, make sure that it's displayed. By default, it gives us the automatic part, which is the measure grid lines with a filling and that one. So here, the no line is there, then the automatic is picked with the color, with the transparency, with the width, and then also with the dashes and with different arrows. So now this plot area here, the measure axis, when you go to the format grid lines, then it gives the vertical grid lines. Axis measure one is selected. And then also the question says we must display the primary measure, vertical. I didn't see properly, it's vertical grid lines because I was saying the measure grid lines is already selected. So here is the vertical. The vertical axis with its grid lines must also be there. So here, both the vertical grid lines must be there, but it displays only horizontal axis, and then the vertical one is also showing the grid lines, which is showing only the horizontal one. So here the vertical one should be displayed. I don't know whether it's the minor or the vertical. Let me check again. Display the primary measure vertical grid lines. So the grid lines, and then it should be the primary vertical. This is the second one. So the one that was showing at first was the horizontal, meaning that you don't need to remove the horizontal grid lines. It's not supposed to be removed. Right. Display the legend at the bottom. So the legend, let's check whether the legend is there. When you select, you click on the chart element, the legend must be there. And then it should be displayed at the bottom. Then again, change the marker type of the lowest point to a triangle. So here, these are the markers. When you click on it, and if you want to show the different markers, so like here, these trend lines here, with the more options that are there. Now, the question wants us to change it to vertical. When you select it, and then you see the automatic one with a line marker, so the marker will be given to you. Then the question says it should be change the marker type of the lowest point to a triangle. Right. So here you see the marker, and there is a marker option. And then the marker type here, built in, it shouldn't be the square, it should be triangle. And then the size of it should be given to you. And then the transparency. So basically, this question wanted us to change the marker one to triangle, as you can see here. So when you select it, and then when you go to the options, or you can just right click and go to the format data series. These are the markers that you are going to pick. Then when you go to fill, we have the line, and then we have the marker. So here, when you're dealing with the lines, these are the line options. And if you're dealing with the markers, you click on that one. It has the marker fill also, which you can change them with the varied colors. It also has the marker options, whereby if you pick automatic, it will pick the default one for you. Now, but you can change it also to built in to select the specific type that the question wanted you to do. Like here, you can have the plus, can even have a picture as a marker. Now, this question wanted us to pick a triangle as our marker, right? So basically, this is how we needed to do regarding this question. To put this one down, to put the triangle markers, and then also to change the points to 5,000 for 4 marks. Right, any other question for this one, for question 3? If not, we will move straight to question 4, which is a few questions, and then we move to database. Please show how the VLOOKUP function again, okay? Please show the VLOOKUP function again. Right. I'm going to repeat the VLOOKUP. Like I said, whenever you are dealing with VLOOKUP, you go to the table, select the values, do not include the heading. You right click, define name. Let's say I'm giving a name as E, and then OK. That's the table name. Then you go to the others, equal sign, VLOOKUP. Then you click on FX. So the table name is the table array, which is E. Lookup value, which is always from this table on the left-hand side. So here we're dealing with the shipping cost. And then the table, because when you go to the promo, the shipping cost will become the lookup value. Then we are taking only the promo option. Hence, we need the second column. So the column index will be 2. And then the range lookup. Range lookup is true or false. Now, we only put false when the values are the same, the exact match. But then you can see that when you come to this place, the lookup value here is 128. But if you come to the promo, there's no 128 here in the cost. So you can't say false. You have to say true. True means approximate, and then false means exact. The same applies to X lookup. -1 means exact, 1 means what? Approximate. So take note of that. Right. So that is all. Now we move straight to question 4. Question 4. We are going to open for deliveries. For deliveries. The question says, change the font size of the heading to 25 pt and merge and center A1 to H3. So here's A1 and H3. We select up to H3. You right click, you can see merge and center here, or you can go to format cell. So this merge and center, and then the font size should be changed to 25. So you go to the font size, you type 25 and press enter. The next question is, insert a formula to determine the average years experience of all the deliveries in completed years. So average years, we have to put it in 4.1, that B5. The average years in completed year, or the experience. So we use average. But then because there's a completed year, that means there will be round function or something like that. So I would prefer to work from the building block. You can say equal sign average. Whenever you are dealing with average question, go to the building block. Then number 1, you select all the experience years. And then you press enter. So we got our average here, which is 10. So here we don't have problem. So we can now go and put our answer here. Imagine maybe in the examination, you see 3 marks or 4 marks. That means they rounded. They can ask you to round it. Then after that, you can just say equal sign round Then you click on FX. The number will be this one. Completed years, so 0 decimal place. Or you can use int function by saying equal sign int, which is integer. Integer, then you click on your answer. Right, so that you can get your final answer in that particular cell. We move straight to 4.3. The rate per kilometer travel is stored in J1. Calculate the trip amount for each. So there's a rate given to us in J1. Here is it. Now we want to calculate the trip amount. Remember the trip amount, we have column D, which contains kilometer per trip. So here is 132 kilometers, and every kilometer is 3 rand 35 cents. So meaning we have to multiply this one by this value. And for you to do that, because each and every value in column D will be multiplied by this particular value, we need to give L1 a name or J1 a name. So you can just right click and say define name. You can just say J1 or J or A to give it a name. Then you come here and say equal sign, click on the kilometers times the value in J1. You see it says A. Then you press enter. So that when we drag down, it's gonna make sure that the value don't change. Each of them will be multiplied by J1, which is A. Right, so basically this is how we needed to do to solve this particular question. Now, 4.4, insert a formula in G8 to extract the province from the delivery address. And I like this question here. This is a text function. And you can see that from question 3, we didn't see any text function. So meaning every question paper, there will be text function, there will be lookup, sometimes date function, date calculations also. So here is a text function and it's 6 marks. That means you have to do more combination of text functions. Now G8, where is our G8? This is G8. When you have this type of question, you have to make use of building blocks. Now, where do we find the province? Province from the delivery address. Province is on the right hand side. You can see each province is on the right hand side and it's separated by dash. So each province, there's a dash separating it. So you cannot say equals to right and then you say 10 number of characters. No, because Gauteng and Western Cape do not have the same number of characters. Now, if you have this type of question, you need to make use of right function. You have to also make use of len function, and then you must use find function. So take note, whenever you are picking from the right hand side, you need len, you need find, and then you need what we call right function. So I'm just gonna put this one down here. Then you will take note when you are studying this one, if you are watching this video later and practicing, because this type of question is always gonna be there. So watch out for that. If you have a compound text in a cell, in one cell, just explaining this one, compound text in one cell. In other words, you have 2 or more text separated by a character. Then, if it is on the left-hand side, then you need left, you need find function. If it's on the right-hand side, then you need right, you need len, and then you need find. If it is in the middle, aside being on the left or the right, then you will need mid, you need len, and then you need find. So please take note of this. you must first identify where you're going to find the text. Is it on the left or is it on the right? And then you use them, you solve them step by step in the building block. So here, we need to use the learn and find function in the building block first. So let's go and do that. So we go to the building block. You start with the learn function and say equal sign learn. Then you click on the cell. This is the cell that contains compound text. Compound because we have 12, we have L, we have the street, we have the comma, we have Rivonia, and then Gauteng. So we need the learn value. And then we need a find value. What are we finding? You can use find or you can use search. What exactly are we finding? We are finding what is separating what we are supposed to extract, which is Gauteng, and then the rest of the text. So we can see that what is separating them is this one, which is the dash. So dash is the one separating Gauteng or the province from the rest. So we have to find or determine or search for the position of that dash, which is find. Or you can also use search function. Find text. What are we finding? Dash. From where? From this particular cell, which is F8. So we extract the position and then you click OK. So we have these two. Now, after getting these two, you go to the next column. You subtract the smaller value from the bigger value. In this case, you say equals to the bigger value, which is the learn, minus the smaller value, which is the find. So this now becomes our new number of what? Characters. This is the one that we are going to use together with write function. So we can now come here and say equals to write. The text will always be the cell that you are referring to. The number of characters, your new answer here, which is this 8. Remember, this 8 is the learn minus what? The find. Then click OK. So you can see here, when I drag down, and I drag this one down, I drag here also down. If I drag here, it's going to work. Western Cape, as you can see here. If I drag down also, it's going to get Free State, even though they do not have the same number of characters. So remember, when you are taking from the right-hand side, you will need write, you will need learn, and you need find. Imagine we want the rest of the things except the province. Then we're going to use the left. Equal sign left. So the text will be this. The number of characters will be the find value, which is 24 minus 1. Why minus 1? Because we do not want to include, the minus. So because if I don't say minus 1, look here, it comes with a dash. So here, that's why you say find value minus 1. Right. So basically, that's how we do in order to solve this question. When you are picking from the left, you will need the value for find minus 1. If it's from the right, you need learn and then you need find. So take note, please. And then for this type of question is always going to be there, please. So watch out for that. The last question. Apply expression feature to column H so that the delivery date where the month is the same as the current month will always display in the red font. And I like this spreadsheet feature. Whenever you see spreadsheet feature, it could be data validation, or it could be conditional formatting, or it could be it can also be Free Spain or others. Now, the moment there's a condition, then there is going to be conditional formatting. Like this one, they said when the delivery date is the same as the current month, then they will display in red font color for 4 marks. So this is a higher order question. Now let's check. We are applying it on column H. So you select your column H. But now the question says, when the delivery date, where the delivery date, which is in column H, if the delivery date is the same as the current month. I like that one, the same as the current month. And what's the current month? Which is October. Right. So meaning we need to find the current month. We need to find the current month. So this particular question, we can also use the building block to make our work easier. Remember, we have to use the current month. So I can just say today, equal sign today. So that to give you today's date. So today's date will be 15th of October. Then you can autofill, or you can just leave it as that. Then you now pick the current month. The current month from this one, which is the equals to month from here. So the current month will be October 10. Right. So this is the current month. Then we can also compare with each and every month from here, from the building block. So you can say equals to month of this particular one. So we got the month from every, we can have and the month for all of them. So here we use the month function to extract the month. I want to break it down so that you understand it. So this is the month from here. And then this is the current month, which is 10. So the question says, when this one is the same as that, then it should give us, it should highlight that part for us. And you know, remember they wrote these exams in June or July. So that question was going to work. So I'm going to also change one of these. Let's say I'm changing this one to 10. Instead of March, I will just say October to test it. So now, you select the column that you are applying the conditional formatting on. Then you go to conditional formatting. And then you choose new rule. Remember, whenever you are comparing two columns or two values, we use this one, the formula. Then we are going to pick here. When this one, which is 08, and then we make it absolute, which is already there, is equals to this value here. Now this P8, we shouldn't make it absolute. Just P8. Because it will run down. Why do we make this one absolute? Because we are comparing the current month with all of them. Then we go to format. What's the question saying? Red font color. So you go to font, the color should be red. We change the font color to red. And then OK, then you say OK. So you can see here, because this month here is October, and it's the same as the current month, it will be in red font. And there's no other one that's October. So if I go and change this one also to October, it's also changed automatically to red font. So please, this question, we needed to break it down. First of all, you must find the current date, which is today, and then you extract the month from today, which is the month of N8. Then you also extract the month from individual delivery dates. Then we now compare by using conditional formatting, which is the formula type for 4 marks. Right. I believe I've answered that question for everyone. Now we can move straight to The next question. That is spreadsheet for you. We are done. We are moving to database. We are moving to database. And if we have time, we can look at HTML and then the other questions. If there's no time, we will postpone this one to also tomorrow, and then or possibly Friday, then we'll be able, if it's tomorrow, we will start a bit earlier to complete it. We can start tomorrow early, our lesson, so that we'll be able to complete these questions. Right. Let's move straight to spreadsheet. Oh no, the database, then I will know that I will be left with HTML and then the last one, which is also spreadsheet. So I will start without wasting much time. I'm going to start with database. Remember, I have not even spent 2 hours. So meaning in examination, you should make sure that 2 hours you are done with spreadsheet and the data Microsoft Word. Now let me open 5pick up. We are dealing with database. Right, the first question. I'm gonna close the spreadsheet. The first question, and it says, change the property of the driver name field to appear in uppercase or capital letters. So we open the table. The table name is TBL5_1. You right click and choose design view. Then we're gonna change these properties. The first one is the driver name should be in uppercase. So you click on driver name, the format, you put greater than. Whenever you put greater than, it changes everything to uppercase. The next one, edit the properties of the contact number field as follows. Make sure that the contact number will always be inserted. The keyword, when I say always be inserted, must, it should not be left empty. It is required. So take note. So this one is required, yes. So we go to contact number and then required, we choose yes. Right. Let me close this one. Where I open it from, I don't want to. Right. So we proceed. The next question, it says, change the field size of the, change the field size to accept the correct number of digits for the cell phone number as displayed in the datasheet view. Now let's check. That's the cell number. We chose required to be yes. And then when you go to datasheet view, we are now going to check the total length of the cell phone number. If you check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, there are 10 of them. The total length is 10. Is 10. So meaning the number of characters should be 10. So we go and change the field size to 10 instead of 30. The next question, add an input mask to the password as follows. 2 capital letters. Whenever you say capital, when you say capital, that means you must put greater than first. 2 capital letters, that's 2L. An optional letter or digit. If you see optional letter or digit, or if you see letter or digit is A. So capital A is compulsory letter or digit. Small a is optional letter or digit. So this is small a. Any other character Any other character we use, if you check, if you are not sure, you must go and check from the input mask character sheet. Any character we use N, this one. And then optional character we use C. Capital A, letter or digit. Small a, optional letter or digit. Capital L, compulsory letter. Question mark, optional letter. 0, compulsory number. 9, optional number. Take note of this whenever you are dealing with input math. So here the question wants us to choose any character, that means N, this one. And then followed by hashtag. So you must put hashtag, but please, hashtag must be in inverted comma because it's a string. So not just hashtag, because when you put just hashtag, it means that you are referring to an optional number, including plus and minus. If you check the input mark sheet, because hashtag is a string, you put it in inverted comma. So this should be an input mask for the password. So we go there and then we put the password input mask greater than 2L, followed by small a, followed by N, shift and 7, and then followed by inverted comma hashtag. So that should be our right input mask. Now, drivers are only entered on the database if the license has not expired on the current date and will not expire within the next 30 days. I like this one. Insert a validation rule on the expiry date to only accept the valid expiry date. Now remember, the current date, we use what you call now. You can use now as the current date, or you can use date. You cannot use today as the current date for database table. And they say, and will not expire within the next 30 days. That means the next 30 days from the current date. That means should be from now up until the next 30 days. So you can use between. So you can say between now and remember now plus that 30 days. You are adding the 30 days to that current date. So between now and that now value here plus 30. So that should be plus 30 within the next 30 days. So that should be our validation rule for the expiry date between now and now plus 30. So here, if where's the expiry date? 2028. So the current date now. So here there was a problem here. That's why it's giving you, it's going to give you an error. This is 2028. So should be the 30 days plus that one. So you cannot put any date. So if I put a date now as if I put a date, you say the driver's license is not valid. Let's go and check. So if I put tomorrow's date, which is 16, then it's gonna work. So the problem is this between now is affecting us here, but that's the correct one. Or you can say greater or equals to now and less than, or but then I think the between is also correct. That is starting from. So meaning you cannot pick any date outside this one. So that should be the right way, either between, or you can say greater than or equals to now and less than or equals to now plus 30, which will also work. Insert a new field called username above the password. So here's the password. We want to insert username above this one. So meaning it should, we just right click on password and then you go to insert row. Then we can now type username because it's going to replace it. Right. Modify the form FRM as follows. Add the 5 company image in the form header. So this is our form. You right click, design view, and we need to put an image in the form header. So we go to form design. You will see insert image, you browse, then you go and find that image. The image, which is 5 company, and then you draw it. They didn't specify where you must place the image, whether on the left-hand side or the right. Now, with the image, you can just choose the property to fill in. So when you click on the image, you will find here, say size mode, and then you choose stretch. Remember, they can also ask you to change the width and then the height of the image. They can also ask you to choose the border around it, which you go to the border width and then the border style to solid. Then the width will be 3 pt. Right. They can even ask you to change the border color. Let's say to red. You will change all of them from properties. They can also ask you to hyperlink this one. Let's say this one I'm linking to Serenity Education. I click on the hyperlink address. You will see the 3 dots. Then you type the one that you are linking to, whether to the website or anything that you want to click or hyperlink to. So watch out for this. Right. The next question says, modify the combo box of the pickup field to display correctly. Add locker as an option to the list. So the combo box is here for pickup date, no pickup type. They already have it. If it's not there, you right click and say change to, then you pick the combo box. So it is already there. So you just right click, then you go to properties, which is there. Then you go to data, and then you pick the values here. Row source type. It says row source type as table or query. Now, whenever you choose table or query, you cannot type the values. You need to select the table. But because here they have typed the values like kiosks and others, you need to change this one to value list so that you'll be able to type the values. When you click on the 3 dots, it opens for you. Then you can type the 3rd value, which is locker. Right, then okay. Remember, you must choose them from data, value list, when you want to type the values. Then if you choose table or data, when you want to pick the values from another table. Then the next one, insert a button in the details section. Here they say details. They did not say footer. You must always read the question properly. That will close the form. Display the stop picture on the button. So to close the form, this is the action button from form design. And it should be in the details section. You can put it here. And then you choose form operation, close form, next. You want a picture, not a text. Then you say stop picture, and then you go to finish. So this is what the question wanted us to do, to put it there as a closed form action button. Now we move to queries. Open the query QRY5_3. Edit the query to display the driver name, pick up date, pick up type. Of all the deliveries, we need the deliveries that will be picked up from a kiosk. We must sort it also in chronological order. That means ascending order. So you need to highlight and identify them before you'll be able to solve them step by step. Now let's go to QRY5_3. You right click, design view. Now the question says we must display driver name, pickup date, pickup type. So we have to pick the driver name, pickup date, and then pickup type. Then the question says we must sort the pickup date. So the pickup date, we choose sort in ascending order. And then deliveries. Where do we find deliveries? You will not know unless you open the table. Remember, it is from TBL pickup. So we can double click on TBL pickup to check. Where do we see the deliveries? We don't see any deliveries here. But then we see pickup type, which is kiosk. So meaning under the pickup type, we have to type kiosk. But you cannot just type kiosk. You can say cake star, or you can say star KI star. That means contains KI. Now it gives us the kiosk. So basically, this is what the question wanted us to do. When you know the first three letters, you put a star before, then you type the first three, then you close it with a star also. Right. So that is all for sorting and then others. 5.4, query 5.4, list of all the deliveries to Gauteng and the Limpopo made after means greater than, take note, 17 hours. So let's go and check. 5.4, you right click, design view. Then it says Gauteng and the Limpopo. Where do we find, I believe, another province? So we can say Gauteng, which is G star, or you can say star G A star for Gauteng, and then Limpopo star LIM star. It starts with LIM. Then you click on run. So we can see we have Gauteng, but it gives us Mpumalanga because of GA, because Mpumalanga also contains GA. So we can say Gauteng, we say star GAU star. That's why I always prefer you to pick the first three letters. You can type them in full if you like, but I'm teaching you this because sometimes you can have a certain word within a lot of text, then you must pick that first three letters to be able to display them properly. So we have the Gauteng and the Limpopo. Then they say the delivery time should be after 17 hours. So the criteria for delivery time should be greater than 17 hours. So do again for Limpopo, greater than 17 hours. Then we can now run it. So these are the only 5 options, or the 5 records greater than 17 hours. Right. 5.5, insert a calculated field called same day. I like this question. To determine if pickup date and then the delivery date are on the same day. If if the pickup date and delivery date are on the same day. They didn't tell us to display whether yes or no, and they did not also say we must use if statement or what. But one can also use if statement, so how you must achieve that. Now, only display the record where the pickup date is the same as the delivery date. So now we have to do calculation called same day. Right click on 5.5. Now you want to do the calculation. You right click on empty space and then you choose build. Now we are going to do, they said when the delivery date, you double click, is equals to the pickup date. You click OK. Run and let's see. It gives you 0 and 1. 0 means it is false. 1 means it is true. So it gives us 0 and -1, yes. So true and false. -1 means true. 0 means false. Then you change the EXPR1 to what we call the same day. And then you run again. So now the question says only display the record whereby the pickup date is the same as the delivery date. Do not display the same day field. So we come here and say -1. So we want only the same day. So you put -1. You can see here, pickup date 15, delivery date 15. They are all the same. Only 4 records. So -1 means true. Now, do not display the same day. So you must untick this one so that we can have our 4 record. That is the easier way. Alternatively, one could have done this by also using if statement. You right click and say build. Then you use if. If the delivery date is equals to the pickup date, comma, maybe yes, comma, no. Then you close it. So you see here, it gives a yes and no. Then where you put yes, yes is when it is the same day. So you could have also used if statement to get the same results. So you choose whichever easier way. But I think the first one is easier for everyone by comparing them for 5 marks. Now 5.6, the last one for database, which is a report. A report is created with a screenshot. They say you must create it, yes. So we will need pickup date. We will need the driver name. We will need pickup point. And there are some calculations here. You can see here. They counted them. This is 1. This is 2. And this is 4. So there's counting per each group. But then we have this funny thing here. What's a pickup date by week? Already we have pickup date, but now it also say pickup date again, but then by week, meaning they group according to pickup date, and then they chose by week as the way they group them, the format. So we are going to create a report. So we go to create report wizard. And according to the question, it should be based on TBL pickup. You choose TBL pickup. Then we will need pickup date. You double click on pickup date. We will need, again, driver name as the second one. We will also need the pickup point. Only 3 fields. Don't go and say, I'm looking for pickup date by week. There's no pickup date by week. They chose pickup date. Then next. Now, because they have pickup date by week, that means they group according to pickup date. So do you want to add any grouping? It's a pickup date. You double click. And then when you double click, you go to grouping options. That's where you choose pickup date by week, not month. Because of this screenshot here, that's a pickup date by week. And then you click OK, next. But then there is no, I don't know whether they sorted. You can also check. I think they did some sorting. You can see here, Boshoff and then Ngube. So B comes before MN. Check here, Dube. No, Dube and Debere or Debere, they are not the same because this one should have come before that. So they did not do any form of sorting. So whenever you get this type of question, you must check carefully whether they were sorted or not. Yeah, so there was no sorting. So we can proceed. Layout, I think maybe you can pick landscape and others and finish. Now let's go and see. So you see pickup date by week 1, pickup date, this is 2, 3, like that. Now we want to do calculations. So you must click on group and sort. And then where it's a group on pickup date, you go to more. And then with no totals, you choose, check where they did the calculation, is under the pickup point. So you can say, with no totals, you select pick up point, then count values, then you choose show subtotal in group footer. Why footer? Because the calculations are always below, not on top. If it was on top like this, then it's going to be group header. And then we run again to see. But now it goes to the extreme side there, so we have to bring it to this side. We must now go to design view. Now look at where the calculation is here. So we have to now bring it to this side. It's still far. You can just put them. Yeah. So this is the exact structure that you see. Pickup date by week, which is there. And then a pickup date. And then a driver name. Right. So that is how we were supposed to do. Now we are done with database. Let's see if we can quickly finish the HTML. And the question 7, which is not a lot. I think it's mail merge. HTML is not a lot. So let's try and push for HTML. Maybe 5 minutes, I'll be done with HTML. Right. Then the question says we must open 6_1 company. So we go there. 6_1 in design view. Sorry for that. In with Notepad++, the first question, it says, make sure that the web page background color displays when the web page is viewed. Now, let's see, where's the background color? BG color. The problem is the color. It's in American English, not British English or South African English, so you must remove U. So that's why it was not displaying. Modify the image tag so that the image displays on the right of the right with a border of 2. So here, this is the image. So you modify the tag. You can put it at the beginning by saying align equals to right. Align equals right. And then the border, the image must have a border. So we say border. We can even put it at the beginning. We can say border equals to 2. So align equals to right, border equals to 2. Do not put the PT because that's just the measurement, just 2. Change the font type of the heading to ink free. I like that there's a font type called ink free. Where is the heading? This H1. So we have to put the font here. Font tag face equals to ink free. And then you close the font tag here. Right. The next question. That's 6.1.4. Edit the HTML code to link the text, get a code to the given email address. So 6.1.4, the email address, like I told you, email address always say mail to. So we need to put a link here, which is a hyperlink reference, href, equals to this email address. Then you close it with the code, and then you close this one so that get a quote will be in the middle. Then you close your A. So A is hyperlink, and then you put hyperlink reference. Then this is the email address that is linking to, and get a code will be in the middle. Then you close your A tag. For 3 marks, modify the HTML to display a line. That is 6.1.5. A line, which is HR. So they have given the attributes of the line, but there was no HR tag. So you say HR, color equals to dark blue, the size, then you close it here. And then the last one over there, modify it to display a square bullet. So square bullet is UL. So UL is already there. Then you say type equals to square to display in a square bullet. Right, the next question. A table was given to us for how many marks? 4 marks. That we must create a table to look like this, which is 6_2 services. 6_2 services. Now, this is how the original table looks like. Now, this is how the question also looks like. You see the courier services has been merged. And the image must also display. So courier service must be there on top. It's fine there. But where the images have been combined, there are 3 columns that are combined. Column 1, column 2. No, there are 2 columns combined. So we have to combine these 2 columns also, which is the call span equals to 2. Call span equals to 2. So we go to where the image is. Let's check where that image is. This is the table. In the first row, the table row, this is the 1 row. Where the image is, they did not put the row. TR was not there. You see, there's no TR. So we have to create our TR. And then we close the TR also. That's the table row. Now, the TD, which is the table data, which is the cell that contains the image. As you can see here, it is merging. So inside this TD, we say call span equals 2. Why 2? We combine two columns together. So call span equals to 2, and this image will be there. Right. Then again, so let me save and then I'll run it and see. Let me go and save it somewhere. I don't want to save it inside that. And it means that that same image, these two images must be there. So now, wait, I save it somewhere, so I must open it from that side. Yeah, there we go. So you see, column 1, column 2, that means there were 3 columns. According to this one, it's column 1 and column 2. There are 2 columns. That means there's something missing there. First row is this one. Second row is the international shipping, and then our international shipping services. They are on the second row. So international shipping and this one must be in one row. Now the second row is what time, this one and that one. And the third row is the package. So meaning we understand must also be in the second row. They must all be in the second row, like you can see here. And then our screen is not there. So we have to move this one to this second row. So let's check that row and then we'll see. So this is row 1, row 2, and row 3. Yes, they put TH and TD all together. And inside it, where it says we understand, there shouldn't be TD. That's why it's creating this problem. They are all in the same TD. So because they created TD, that is why we got a problem. So now, yes, so now we got it right. The image is displaying properly. But the lines are too big, as you can see here. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4. But then here we have 1, 2, 3, 4. It's also 4. And then the image height and then the width are all bigger ones. So we can also change this TR. This one, we must check there should be 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 rows. Now it seems we are having so many rows. This is the first row, TR. This second row, third row, package row there. This TR, they didn't close it properly. It's supposed to be /. So this is that row. And this one, like I said, you must always check them. When you click on the opening tag, it must select the close tag also for you. So now we can comfortably get our right shape so that it doesn't create a new row for us. Right, so the image is there in the middle and that one for that number of marks. But you can see that our text here seems to be not stretched like that. So we can justify them also. From the rows, we can justify them like a line or maybe from the table. we can say align equals to justify. The table will be justified, and then the text must also be justified properly, which is inside the TR. Right, so we get first row justified properly in the middle. So each of them, we can put them justified so that we'll be able to have proper. And then the cell spacing, we can also ensure that there's a space, at least some spaces in between the cells. But now the total marks, let's check the question before we do more than, it's just 4 marks. So we have done more than 4. That is putting that one, and then also the image, putting the TR. So basically we are done with this part. Now let's go to the last question here, which is question 7. Then we close the chapter of this particular question paper with a 7 invoice. 7 invoice. Now the question says, insert the company's address in cell F9 so that it will automatically update if the information in the delivery worksheet changes. So the company address, so that it can also change the moment it also change from that side. Now, that is F9. Right, I'll close this one. So invoice, and then say we must put it in cell F9. So here's F9. And the company address in cell F9 so that it will automatically update if the information in the delivery worksheet changes. So here is the delivery worksheet, which also has the company's address here. So meaning we must put it this side. We just press equal sign, then you go and click on that one. So to show here, whatever you do here, if I delete the 10, when I go that side, it also remove the 10. So that is what the question wanted us to do. Now the next question, change the layout settings as follows. Make sure that only the information in A1 up until H31 will be printed. So A1 up until H31. So you go to A1. Yes, A1 up until H31. Make sure you do not delete the, up to H31. When you select it, then you go to print area. You can go to page setup. So you can just say print. Then it's gonna give you set print area. So only this side will be printed. If I press Ctrl P, only that side will be printed. Right. The next question. Insert a 7 stamp image in the center of the header. So we need to insert the header over here. Now, to insert the header, you can just go to header and footer. So this is the center. Then you can now go and pick the image. Select picture. Remember, you can insert any of these things to the header. So select picture, and then you pick your picture, the 7 image or 7 stamp, so that it will be there. Now it's gonna show and pick. That is when you're in the header and footer. But if you want to see, when you click outside, then that picture will be there in the header and then the footer. Right. So this is that view. Now, if in the examination is giving you a problem, you can change the view. When you go there, this is the page layout, and this is the page break. And here is the normal view. So you can go to normal view to remove that view. Right. But even though it will be in the header, if you want to see, when you go to this view, you will see them. Right. The next question. The percentage import text is calculated by using the weight of a parcel, that is C20, as shown below. So they have given you the weight of the parcel. When the weight of the parcel is 10 kg or less, then it's 25% on total import. When it is 11 to 20, it's 30%. 21 kg or more is 35%. And I always tell learners, whenever you have this type of question, you call it alpha and omega. Why do we say alpha and omega? You pick only the first condition and then the last condition. Leave out the one in the middle. Why are we saying so? Because there are 3 conditions. If there are 3 conditions, you will need only 2 if statements. This one will not be taken because this one is easier, because it says less than 10 kg or less, so it's a less than or equals to 10. It's easier to write that. This one is greater or equals to 21. It's either. Now when you use between or this, or you see 2, then it creates a problem unless you use the AND function. So we take the first and then the last. Now we are putting our answer in C20. So let's go to C20. And then we are going to compare, according to the question, for the weight of the parcel. Where is the weight of the parcel? The percentage import text calculated by using the weight of the parcel, that is C20, as shown below. Okay, so we are comparing this one to display the percentage. Now insert a nested if statement in H22. So we are putting our answer here in H22. So we're going to put the function here, equal sign if. And then you click on your fx. The logical text, you click here. If this one is greater, let's check the first condition. It says 10 kg or less. So if it is less than or equals to 10, or we can pick the bigger one, which is the 20 kg or more, greater or equals to 21, then the value if true, I deleted it. If the value here is greater or equals to 21, then the value if true should be 35% of the total, which will be 35% times, whenever you see of, meaning times the total. Here is the total amount. Otherwise, we start with the second if. You open bracket, then you go to the formula bar, click inside there. Then you start again. This one is less than or equals to 10. That's the first condition. This one, 10 kg or less, then to be 25% of the total. 25% times the total. Then the last condition here, well, if false, we don't go for the third if because there are 3 conditions. So we need 2 if. This and that one. So value if false, you go and put this statement here, which is 30% of the total. So value if false will be 30% times the total amount here. And then you click OK. Then say yes. So basically, this is how you were supposed to do. You pick the alpha and omega, the first and last, leave the one that says between, or when you see two, that should be the last statement that should be placed over there. Right. We move to the next question, which I believe is the last but one question. It says, the parcel for Nadia Erasmus arrived at the hub 4 hours, 35 minutes after, this is very important, it arrived at the custom. Use a function in cell G4 to determine the time when the parcel arrived. So whenever you say after means plus, before means minus. So 4 hours and 35 minutes. Now, we go to delivery and we are putting it here. The arrival time at the custom is this one. So we can use building block to determine the hour, the minute, and then the second. So we can put the hour here, equal sign hour. Then you click on this time. You press enter. Then you go here, equal sign minute. You click on this answer, you press enter. And this one, you go there, you say second, equal sign second. And you click on the time so that it takes the hour for you, the minute, and then the second. Now that you have this, you can now come and put your function here. Equal sign time, because we need to generate the time. Then you click on FX. Where it says hour, click on the hour here. Where it says minute, you click on your minute. And where it says second, you click on your second. Now you go and check. The question says 4 hours and 35 minutes. So you go to the hour and say plus 4. And then you go to the minute, you say plus 35. 4 hours and 35 minutes. There is no second, so you don't touch that part. And then you click OK. So this will be the new time. So 4 hours and 35 minutes from this time will give you this time. Right. So that's the time, and then also the same applies to the date calculations. Lastly, 7, which is mail merge. So you must open the 7 labels. The last question. Now, it says we must use the 30 labels with a height of 2.54 and then the width of this one. Link the 7 labels with this. So this will be the source document. Insert the customer name field and 7 thanks image. So let's look at that. Mail merge. So we're going to start creating mail merge. We go to mailings and then start mail merge. We choose labels. Because the question says we are creating a label. Now let's check whether it gave us a specific size. No size, so we can choose the default one. And then we are linking. Then we go to select recipient, use existing list. Then we go and pick the list, which the question says we are linking to 7 customers. So you double click on 7 customers and then OK. After that, you go to edit recipient list. That's where we're going to change a lot of things over there. 30 labels with a height. So we have to go and check. So there are so many of them with a contact number and then the image. So, they said the height. So the default was not supposed to be there. We made a mistake there. We're supposed to change the height and then the width, but you can change that one when we are done. And then also the linking, we are done with the linking. Insert a customer name field and then 7 things. So here we need to insert. We don't need to filter. So where is a new record here? We have to insert the customer name. Let's look at it. The name is on the left-hand side. And then the thank you is down there. So you can insert the field, customer name, and then we get a space for the image, 7 things. So we have to insert an image, which is the picture, called 7 things. Let's check where the picture is. I think it's on the right-hand side of where the name is. Or it should even be below. Right. Now, when you are done with this, still under the mailings, you go there and then you choose. You must save it first. When you are done, you must click on save, then go to finish and merge, edit recipient list, and then okay. Now, our problem is, so we got it right, but our problem is we need to change what the question asked us to change. They said we must have 30 labels with a height. So when we started, we were supposed to pick those heights and then the width. So we can even change this one here. This one is 2.5, those margins, or the height of the labels. So when we started, our mistake was this one. Let's go back and change this. When we went to the labels, now we have 30 per page, 30 per page, and then the height and then the width. Let's check the height. The height is 2.454, and then the width is 6 point. Yeah, so that's the correct one. Not this. This different one. We are supposed to choose this and then okay. So this should have been our right one. And then we now go to the customer name, and then we insert the image. Then we insert that picture. Before we go to mailing, finish, and merge, and then we save it. So here we have different one, but now the positioning. From the beginning, we made a mistake. We chose the 30 labels, right? But then we made a mistake from the beginning. So it changed everything. You see now it's giving us different records. This should have been the right one, but it's giving us a whole lot of records. Yeah, so basically, this is what we needed to do. All that we needed to do is to choose the right one, and then we insert the picture and others. So that is how we were supposed to do. Now, let me check if there are no questions regarding our streaming. If there are no questions, we're going to end here. Yeah, somebody asked a question here. Is it necessary or important to use asterisk? It is not. It is not. But then the reason why I was using that is that sometimes you can get that they said extract something from them and you have so many texts. That is why I was always using the asterisk to make things easier for everyone. If there are no questions, we will end here. and then the videos will be available for you.